Greetings family, peace and love to you and yours. This is Guru and thanks for visiting my channel. Family, this video is about a racist who clears up any confusion about the meaning of White Lives Matter. So with that said, let's go to the story. Well family, residents of Lewiston, New York were upset last week to find that someone had dropped 10 to 20 White Lives Matter flyers on properties in the area. The leaflets contained anti-immigrant messages as well as false statistics about crime and race, similar to the ones Donald Trump retweeted to his millions of followers in 2015. Family, before I move on with this, I just want to point out the fact that white people in general, and then these racist idiots, they can never be original. Their slogan, this slogan that he uses, White Lives Matter, of course, is coined after the phrase Black Lives Matter. And of course, like I said, they can never be original, so they always bite off of, copy off of, and imitate everything pretty much that we do and create. This is how they do it. And then they think that they're actually doing something. What they're doing is getting a little bit of some attention behind mimicking what we've started. But anyways, I'm going to continue. The controversy was a big enough deal that New York Governor Andrew Cuomo decided to weigh in because the racist literature contradicted, quote, all that we stand for as New Yorkers, he said. Well, local TV station WKBW tracked down the person responsible so he could, quote, set the record straight, and the interview went pretty much exactly how you'd expect.
The purpose of these flyers was to raise awareness with whites about the plight that face our people in this country.
Lacey is new to the area and chose to leave the flyers in predominantly white areas based on a suggestion from a friend. He says all of the information is factual.
There was crime statistics, based on race, which is part of the FBI database and the Department of Justice. It's not something that was fabricated out of the blue,
Blair Hoplite is one of several dozen who woke up Thursday morning to find a flyer inside a plastic bag on his driveway.
This gave me the impression they were putting other people down. And that doesn't work. It's not going to make our country any better.
Lacey sees things differently.
I consider myself a racist, but not because I believe in hatred for anybody else. It's because I love my own people.
Lacey says he's actually received positive feedback after distributing the flyers. That's why he plans to do it in other communities in the future. He says he won't stop standing up for what he believes in. Reporting in Lewiston, Allie.
So one thing I definitely want to touch on is white people, and especially the racists, they totally depend on and they rely on and they will use tooth and nail the statistics from the FBI and Department of Justice. We know that those numbers are skewed to the utmost. They are not factual. They're not based on facts. They're not based on a thorough fact gathering, especially when there's circumstances as to how they deal with white criminals and how often they're let go and so many other factors. It just isn't right. It's not fair. But yet white people, and especially racists, they depend on and they rely on tooth and nail those statistics that aren't even real. They're not real. They're not based on facts. They are not valid. Period. Not comma. Those statistics are not based on facts. They are skewed, and there's been too many discussions and exposures to that fact that they're skewed. White people, and especially racists, they need to stop using statistics from the FBI's Department of Justice because those numbers are not factual. How many times are we going to have to cover this? Those numbers are not factual. They are skewed. They are not based on facts. They're just to soothe the conscience of white supremacists. That's our white inferiority complexes, rather. They're just to soothe your conscience. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's why people like him continue to use them. They'll use them over and over and over, and they're not even based on facts. It's horrible. These people are stupid, though. It just stands to reason. I don't know what else to say. They're just dumb. So, with that said, I just wanted to bring that out. Another fact that he said, and I'm going to make sure that I point this out too. He says, and I'm going to quote it. Well, before I quote it, I'm going to actually read how the person who wrote this article, Nick Wing, the senior viral editor of the Huffington Post, I want to read it the way he wrote it in this article, so that way you can hear what he says, and then I'm just going to comment on that. He says, at that point in the conversation, you'd expect Laci to start in with the quote, "I'm not racist, but bullshit." What he did instead was at least refreshingly honest. Quote, "I consider myself a racist," said Laci, "but not because I believe in hatred towards anybody else. It's because I love my own people," unquote. And there you have it. White Lives Matter, the rallying cry for racist white people who believe you should only love other white people because racism. Okay, that's how the editor wrote it, but I'm going to comment on that now. When he says that, first of all, the editor, when he says, but what he did instead was at least refreshingly honest, well, just because he's saying that he considers himself a racist, but it's not because he believes in hatred towards anybody else, but because he loves his own people, that's bullshit. That's absolutely bullshit. The editor calls that refreshingly honest. No, that's bullshit. It's bullshit. So what you're saying in essence is that any other group of people, if you love your own people, you're racist too. That's false. That's a false equivalency. It's false. You're not going to get away with that. That is false, rejected, denied, return to sender, give it back. We don't want it. Because that's just bullshit. And I'm going to have to call it what it is. And that's what it is, Scott Laci. That's just bullshit. So when you say that, you consider yourself racist, but it's not because you believe in the hatred towards anybody else, but because you love your own people, you know good and well that that's not being racist. That's not being racist just because you love your own people. That's not being racist. You know what being racist is. You and I both know what it is. Same with the person that's watching this video. You know what racism is too. And you know what a racist is. These people, they come on and they try to say these little false play on words and whatnot. That's just not working. And we have to expose it. And that's what this is about. And so this whole White Lives Matter, I'm going to end this off right now. All I can say is you're a fraud. You had to copy Black Lives Matter. You couldn't even be original. So really, you're just X'd out. I can't even take you serious. You're just X'd out. So I did this video because you just happened to be on my radar as I was going through different articles here. And I had to watch for a minute and see what you were talking about. And as I watched, I realized it's just bullshit. And yet again, white media, they have to exploit this kind of stuff because, well, it sounded good. White Lives Matter, after all. It's because he loves his own people. That's what makes him racist. No, that's not. And we're not going to let you get away with that false story. So I'm exposing you for what you are. Scott Laci, you're a fraud. White Lives Matter is a fraud. And I'm going to just end it off there. Peace and love to you and yours. Thanks for watching, family. Until the next video, don't forget to love yourself. Forget this racist.